Our first guest needs no introduction. She's a groundbreaking comedian and a social critic, as known for her unique look as she is for her authentic voice.
And over the course of her nearly four-decade-long career, she appeared on and off Broadway in film and in hit shows like Roseanne, The Richard Pryor Show, and Will and Grace. And now she's back on the small screen on the hit CBS show Two Broke Girls. Sandra Bernhard, welcome to Arise 360.
Thank you.
Okay, so what does it feel like to be a living legend, an icon? Just tell us.
Well, you know, when I'm around people who get excited, I think about it. And then when I'm back into my day-to-day life, I don't. You know, you can't live in it unless you're, you know, Judy Garland or Liza Minnelli, or a person like that who's got, you know, who's got all the access to the crazy diva, you know, lifestyle. Yeah. But you know, I keep it real.
You keep it real. You keep it very real.
I keep it very real.
Yes, and we'll talk about your honesty and authenticity on and off screen. But first of all, let's talk about Two Broke Girls.
Yes.
You're playing the manager of a hot new restaurant. Tell us more.
Well, it's, you know, it's all based here in New York City. So the girls have been out in Brooklyn. They're, you know, they need a new job. They need money. So they come and meet with me, and I hire them at the High. It's supposed to be under the High line.
Oh.
So, you know, it's of course, it makes me laugh when you shoot shows in Los Angeles that are supposed to be in New York.
Yes.
Because they really, I mean, it's like a laugh riot.
Right.
It's true.
But it's a great show. It's the writing is funny and tight, and, you know, one-liners and zingers, and the girls are as sweet as can be, Kat and Beth.
Yeah.
I just love them. They welcomed me. I was just like right at home. Michael Patrick King, who's the creator of the show, co-creator, who writes and directs and does everything. He's just wonderful. Everybody's great.
And the show just got picked up for another season, so that's exciting. But were you a fan of the show before you started?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow. I can't believe we said it earlier that you've been, you know, performing for nearly 40 years.
Yeah, well, I started when I was very young. I moved to LA in the early to mid 70s, and that's where I cut my comedy teeth. And as a matter of fact, you must know Paul Mooney.
Yeah.
Paul Mooney discovered me like when I was 19 years old, and was my mentor. You know, and really brought me up through the ranks. He got me on the Richard Pryor Show. He took me to all the comedy clubs. He turned me on to, you know, the whole experience of what it's like to go out there and really put yourself on the line. We'd go to the Parisian Room, which was the great, you know,
of course,
legendary club in you know, in the hood in Los Angeles. So I got up in front of, you know, the audiences that, you know, really knew or just cut you loose. You know, if you could make it in front of the black audiences back in those days, I mean, they were your birds, honey. If they got into you, you knew you were going to make it.
Right.
Well, do you think that was your first time on stage?
Right.
Oh yeah, I do remember. Well, my first official time was at the Ye Little Club the night that Paul Mooney was there. One of my first jokes was, "I'm a medium. I understand you're a small, you're an extra large."
Wow.
That's great.
And
how were you received initially? What did people make of you? And what did the black audience make of you?
Well, I mean, I wasn't only at the black clubs, you know, but
yeah, of
the
course.
black clubs, you know, the people were hipper. But everybody always just thought I was kind of, you know, they kind of like warmed up to me, you know, because I was groundbreaking in the sense that I wasn't doing the typical female self-deprecating comedy. You know, I was like post-feminist, totally confident in, you know, my skin and my looks and not being the girl next door, but feeling good about myself and kind of crossing all the sort of different, you know, sexuality and color and religion. I mean, I covered all the different things that at that time were still very, you know, very kind of
taboo.
Touchy and taboo, and also very like revolutionary.
Well, do you think that that's one of the things that's helped you stay so relevant in the industry? Because a lot of comics, they come and they go. What's the secret to your longevity?
Well, being really in the moment and being true to who I am, and always being willing to take it to the next level.
Now, Roseanne helped make you a household name appearing on that show, and you played one of television's first openly gay characters.
Well, the great thing about Nancy was that, you know, she came on the show as Tom Arnold's wife, and the whole joke was he was so obnoxious and gross that she ran into the arms of Morgan Fairchild to escape him. So at first it was more like, it was sort of just a funny, tongue-in-cheek, crazy idea, and then we kind of evolved the character from there.
Now,
Yeah.
gay characters are ubiquitous on television, but back then that was still regarded as slightly controversial.
Right.
What do you make of the evolution of gay characters on television now?
I still don't think that we've quite gotten there yet. I mean, for me, when a character like, that I'd like to play that's gay, which is sort of getting there on Two Broke Girls, is sophisticated and not victimized and not beaten down and not like, just like, like good black characters, like Empire. Empire is great because they're characters that are successful, that have, that are dealing with like human emotions and arriving. And I think it's time for the same kinds of things. Well, that's what's great about Empire too. It's this cross section of like, the gay characters, and they're covering all of, Of course, I'm giving a shout out so they write me on too.
Right.
Well, I met Danny Strong the other night, one of the creators of the show. So he said he would look for something from me. So
You would be
could happen. That'd be
perfect.
great.
I want to be
Empire.
Taraji, Cookie's friend on the show.
Oh.
That would be great.
her white black friend.
Sandra Bernhard
I am
and
ready
Cookie
for
would
it.
be
Honey,
awesome.
come on.
Oh
Well,
my
Courtney
God.
Love's on the first
Well,
season.
I know.
Yeah.
I
There you go.
know.
So why not?
I mean,
Why not?
Why not, indeed?
Yeah, well,
Putting it out there.
Yeah.
I have to take it back to Roseanne for a second because you were really paving the way for a lot of people that were living in an openly gay lifestyle. Did you set out to make a difference in that role?
No. I mean, I've never set out to do anything other than take it to the next level for me as an artist and as a person. And if you set the example, people will follow. And I've never been into didactic, beating people over the head with the obvious. It's like, rise above it, give them something funny, authentic, sophisticated, and the people will come.
Now, in her recent memoir, Patricia Velasquez spoke about how you were the love of her life, and she cried after you broke up for 2 years.
Well, that's everybody's got their own perspective on their relationships. Of course, I've been with my present girlfriend for almost 16 years, raising our daughter together, and my life has really transformed. And I never thought it would go there in a relationship and like really commit, but everybody sees things from their own perspective, and it's great when you have touched people and opened them up and brought them to a new level in their own emotional state.
Yeah, but did you know she was going to be writing about your
No, I
relationship?
didn't.
You
Were
had
you
no
mad or
idea.
happy about it? Or?
It's everybody. You got to claim your life, and if that's what makes you happy and you want to talk about it, who am I to say? I mean, it certainly wasn't insulting.
Okay.
That's for sure. She's a good gal.
Now, I watched you on Watch What Happens Live last night, and you talked about
Hilarious.
David Letterman. You were on his show 30-something times,
I
and now
know.
what's going on there, Sandra?
Well, I don't know.
You're feuding with David
Not at all.
Letterman? Not at all?
No,
He's not feuding with
no. I think he thought that I had said something and he got offended, and I really never knew what was going on.
Okay.
So I mean, of course,
Hopefully
it's my fantasy that I'll be back on again before the end of the run, because I adore David Letterman, and some of my best memories in this business are going on that show and back in the day,
Yes.
and just doing the craziest stuff possible.
That video montage that they put together
it was
last
so
night.
good.
It was so
oh my God,
good.
it made me want to cry. It was so good.
So good.
Cry from laughter and from pain. No, I'm just
Well, people
My
love
favorite
laughing at
moment
you on
was
that
seeing
stage.
you on Will and Grace.
Oh, thank you.
Incredible.
Genius.
That was fantastic.
That was a fun show. But watch me on Two Broke Girls.
We will
Definitely.
And also,
And on stage,
I will be in
too.
San Francisco performing live
Okay.
on May 1st at the Regency Ballroom, and then I'll be in Olympia, Washington the next night, May 2nd, doing my one-woman show. #blessed.
I like that.
Hashtag
Blessed.
blessed.
Yes, baby.
Well, we are
All right.
hashtag blessed to have had you here.
And mutually being here.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Here's to another 40 years.
At
I
least.
love that. At least.
I mean,
like
now
that.
with all the new, possibilities of living forever.
Go for it. Why not?
4 years, it's just getting started.
Or it could be a post-nuclear story, and I join up with Madonna and
Are you guys still friends?
well,
Just hanging
we
out?
see each other once in a while. Not like the old days, but
Oh, okay.
I still adore her.
Well, tell her we said hello as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
She should come by and see her people.
All right. Hook it up.
We're
All
living
right.
for love here, too.
Yeah, honey, we all are.
We all-
Looking for it and living for it.
All right. Thank you again. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
We'll be right back with more Rise Entertainment 360.